actions they have been undertaking in their respective communities. Thank you everyone for joining. Happy to note that we have various young people joined today for this meeting via Zoom call, and also this call is live streaming on Facebook. We have many young people who are watching to this discussion today. We have representatives from various YAR partners as their members, representatives from UNESCO. Ms. Rika Yorozo will be joining this call. We will be having representatives from UNICEF, ROSA. Mr. Chris Henderson has joined this call. We also have representatives from Nepal government, Mr. Bamsa Nal Tamang. He has joined this call. We have representatives from Executive Council member, SB members and SB staff. Once again, I welcome you all. Before we start with our discussion today, I request everyone to think about one word which comes to your mind when you think about youth in your country. So one word which comes to your mind when you think about youth in your country. I request you to share your responses in the chat box. Please restrict to one word. Thank you. That was very encouraging. Many of us have associated word youth with power, creativity, innovativeness, energy, passion. Yes, indeed, I agree with most of you. Young people across the world has immense potentials and possibilities to bring out change. And these potentials needs to be harnessed and nurtured. This kind of platform and initiatives will help us in that regard. On that note, I request Ms. Nani Zulminarni, who is President of Executive Council of SBASE and also Director of PECA organization in Indonesia, to share a few words about today.
Thank you, Sunil. Can you hear me well?
Yes, Nani.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone, wherever you are in our region, the Asia Pacific region. Greetings from Jakarta, Indonesia. My name is Nani Zulminarni, as already introduced by Sunil. I am the president of ASBAE. On behalf of ASBAE family, I would like to welcome you all in the launch of ASBAE's Youth Action Research, or YAR, on COVID-19. Count us in, community youth shout out on education and life during COVID pandemic. This is an ASBAE celebration event of the International Youth Day, 12 August. Happy International Youth Day to all of you, young people, and to all of us who are young in heart and love young people. Sukarno, the founding father of Indonesia, has said, "Give me 1,000 adults, I will move the Semeru." Semeru is one of the biggest mountain in Indonesia. "I will move the Semeru mountain from its root. And give me 10 youth, I will undoubtedly shake the world." So he always believed that young people can change the world. It is indeed. In this millennial era, we witness how young people have changed the world with their out-of-the-box way of thinking and brilliant ideas and work. Since the year of 2000, the United Nations has started celebrate the International Youth Day as celebration the qualities of young people, recognize and appreciation the important roles and contribution they make in education, employment, conflict resolution, and social justice, to name a few of them. Young people compose more than half of the population in the world now, but in many contexts, their voices are not heard and recognized properly yet. Asbai always believe that young people are our future. Therefore, young people not only need to be protected, but also need to be included in the development of communities around the world, whether they are rich or poor, rural or urban, developed or developing countries, the South or the North. Asbais also recognize the challenges that today's youth can face, particularly in this pandemic situation. Young people need to be facilitated to bring their voices to the decision makers and be part of the process of overcoming the impact of pandemic to us. We all need young people's thinking, ideas, innovations, experiences, motivation, spirits, and energy, together with adults in overcoming the massive destruction and impact of the pandemic. As based youth action research on impact of COVID-19 pandemic on marginalized youth is one of the strategy to bring collective voices of young people, especially from marginalized communities to the world. The ASBAI's Youth Action Research aim to collect stories and recommendations from the youth themselves to address the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. In particular, the year will look at education responses that can help marginalized youth address the impact of COVID-19. It is also hoped that year will help sustain the interaction among the youth during the pandemic. Today is the celebrating the International Youth Day. We proudly launched the year on impact of COVID-19 pandemic on marginalized youth. This event is not only involved and for youth or young people, but also for all of generation, since we in ASBAI also believe on the power of intergenerational dialogue and conversations. Each generation play their important roles and bring unique and distinguished perspective into development and movement so that we can aim to change the world to be more inclusive or for justice for all. I would like to take this opportunity to first congratulate all of you who take part in ASBAI's year on impact of COVID-19 pandemic on marginalized youth. Thank you very much for your dedication and contribution to this process. This is so meaningful for us as ASBAI's family. ASBAI also would like to thank all of our strategic partners, UNICEF, UNESCO, and ICAE. I saw the Robbie, the president of ICAE here, who always continue accompanying us in this journey. And I also would like to appreciate and thanks all ASBAI's team under Maria Khan, the Secretary General leadership, Sunil, ASBAI's youth coordinator with support from Tia and Anita, and Lai has been working hard to prepare this event, our celebration today. Thank you so much. And I thank Peter Clinton, Isaac Fouasse, my colleague in ASBAI Executive Council from Pacific region, who is here to support and accompanying us in this celebration. We are so proud to have Peter as young people and youth representative in ASBAI's decision-making body, the Executive Council. Happy International Youth Day. God bless all of us. I wish you all a great conversation and celebration. Thank you for your attention. Back to you, Sunil.
Thank you, Ms. Nani. That was wonderful, powerful, and moving message to all of us. Yes, indeed, we are in the process of bringing the voices from margins to the mainstream and to listen and learn from those insights. Thank you so much. Um, I now request Mr. Peter Clinton, who is Executive Council member and also youth worker in New Zealand, to share his perspective on this special day and to address our YAR partners and youth researchers. Mr. Peter, over to you.
E waka kia rite hoi ana te waka, mai te upoko, ki ngā hauewa. E waka kia rite, e waka wānanga, e waka whakamana mō ngā mokopuna, mō ngā tamariki kātūranga tira mō a pōpō. Kia ora koutou katoa from Aotearoa, New Zealand. Greetings to everyone who has joined us today. Firstly, and most importantly, to the young people who have been amazing leaders in their own communities. I thank you for the great privilege that you've given us to see the work that you have been doing, and for blessing us with your gifts and your talents as we go through this challenging time in the world. I started off with a waiata, a song about a waka. A waka is a boat that travels across the ocean. We are all on a waka, we are all on a boat. And as you travel across the ocean, you meet storms, you meet high seas, you meet many challenging things. And as we go through COVID-19 as a global community, we recognize the importance of all of us being on the same boat. That although we may be from different parts of the world, the reality is we share one planet, one ocean, many lands. And so I say thank you so much, firstly, for allowing us to be on the same waka. Thank you to ASPE, to our Secretary General Maria Khan and her team, especially Anita, Thea, Sunil, for creating this opportunity to be one boat in the ocean. I often consider myself very fortunate for meeting other young people back in 2013 when we were brought together by ASPE to explore what it would look like if more young people were invited to be part of ASPE. And in 2013, I sat with 25 other young people and wrote down many different ideas and plans. I do have to admit, though, that back then, when I was writing those plans as one young person from New Zealand, I wondered, how was ASPE really going to achieve this? Because young people are told so often by adults, please share your voice. And then young people do not hear what happens when they share their voice. And so in 2013, although I enjoyed my time, I left that meeting wondering, how will our voice really make a change in ASPE? I am so proud to know that after 7 years, ASPE has truly grown its youth activities and initiatives. And I'm so very proud that the Youth Action Research was one of those streams. ASPE has recognized that young people are not just consumers, they are not just recipients of decision makers. They are leaders, they are action makers, they are change makers. Young people are required to be part of the whole decision making process if we truly want to make a change in this world. Afina Cooper, who is an amazing and powerful Māori woman here in New Zealand, when she first explored what it was that Aotearoa New Zealand needed as a country, she said these words: take care of our children, take care of what they feel, take care of what they hear, take care of what they see. For how the children grow, so will the shape of Aotearoa New Zealand. If we do not take into account what children and young people feel, see, and hear in this world, we will never be able to address the many challenges this world faces. Young people come with innovation. Young people come with power. Young people come with creativity. Young people come with thinking outside of the box. And the amazing thing about youth action research is that young people are not just participating in research, they are the researchers. They are the people that are guiding and leading the research. They are the ones coming up with the questions. They are the going into communities asking their own questions. And when they get back together, they are the ones that find the solutions. I want to say thank you to all of our partners, as our president has already mentioned. because without our community partners, we would not be able to invest and support our young people to implement those solutions. And so, in closing, I just want to say coronavirus has taught us many things: that family is priority, that we need health over wealth, that we need to acknowledge that ultimately we should be connected to our own communities to truly get through challenging oceans, challenging times. Another thing that coronavirus taught us is that many of our biggest challenges are invisible. Things like racism, things like discrimination, things like inequality are things that we do not see straight away, but they are actually very, very big challenges. And so I say to our young people, kia kaha. Kia kaha means continuing confidence and courage that we support you. Youth Action Research is one tool, one mechanism for us to make global change through local communities. I want to say to our young people again, thank you. Never stop sharing your voice, whether it be locally or globally. Ultimately, it is your voice and your efforts that will change this world. And it's because we are able to all be on one boat that we will be able to navigate the oceans. So I give it back to you, Sunil, and finish up by saying, Fa'atalo fa'atu, fa'afetai lava, malo lava le tauiwi.
Thank you, Mr. Peter. That was powerful and really moving, inspiring message from both of our executive council member. I quickly take you through our agenda today. After our message from executive council, we will be listening to youth researchers. I'll be briefing you about the context of this action research project, and then our youth researchers from 9 different countries will be presenting their research findings and recommendations. Youth mentors from respective countries will be moderating those sessions. We'll be listening to Mr. Bamsalal Tamang, Mayor and General Secretary of Federation of Rural Municipalities, Nepal, Ms. Rika Yuruzu from UNESCO, and Mr. Chris Henderson, UNICEF Rosa, after the presentation of youth researchers. At the end, General Secretary of Space, Ms. Maria Khan, will be synthesizing our learnings and insights and giving her message at the end. Now, before we go to the young people's voices, their research and findings, let me take you to the objectives and context behind youth-led action research during the COVID-19 pandemic time. I request Thea to share the screen. Thank you, Thea. Youth-led action research on the impact of COVID-19. In April, SBA, along with our partners, brainstormed about the challenges of young people due to the pandemic. We wanted to know more about their situation and to gather youth perspectives from the ground. And at that point, together, we decided to conduct short youth-led action research for 3 months, and it was implemented in 9 countries. Next slide, please. SBA has been conducting youth-led action research since 2016. Through the years, process of youth-led action research has empowered many young people. Young people did research to understand barriers in their education and also carried evidence-based advocacy initiatives in their communities. Throughout the process, we noticed that the process of conducting research was also empowering these young people. They took ownership of their community issues, their educational agenda, and also this process helped them to build their leadership skills and critical thinking skills. Similarly, the current short version of youth-led action research was proposed to give prominence to youth voices during the pandemic. We specifically wanted to collect stories and recommendations of young people in their communities. Next slide. Objectives of the projects were to investigate the situations of Next slides, please. Yeah. Yeah. Next slide. Thank you. Specific objectives of the research was to investigate the situations of marginalized youth during the pandemic. Particularly, the youth researchers wanted to study the impact of pandemic on their education, health access, and overall well-being of the youth. The second objective of this research was to bring out recommendations that will ensure continuing access to education and other support for young people during the pandemic. Importantly, SBA also considers YAR as a tool for young people to have meaningful dialogue and co-produce relevant knowledge during this pandemic time. Next slide. SBA members in 9 countries have been working in partnership with community youth and youth organizations from May until July. We have 9 partners who are involved in this project. They are Abhivakti Media for Development from India, All for Education from Mongolia, New Indonesia and Asbook from Indonesia, Campaign for Popular Education from Bangladesh, Innate Philippines and Civil Society Network for Education Reforms from Philippines, Civil Society Education Partnership from Timor-Leste, Coalition for Educational Development from Sri Lanka, Coalition Blong Left Map Education from Vanuatu, and National Campaign for Education from Nepal. Next slide. Despite the lockdown, the youth researchers engaged their peers in the meaningful dialogue. While following the safety norms, they managed to collect data from their peers using innovative ways. They creatively explored social media and other channels in this period. At some places, despite the challenges in connectivity, lack of ICT tools, young people continued in conducting short surveys and interviews. In some countries where it was possible, community youth had face-to-face interviews also. In the process of research, youth also initiated local actions during the lockdown and contributed towards community change. I'm sure they have many inspiring stories to share with us today. So without losing more time, I think it will be interesting to listen to their stories and insights. At this point, I request Ms. Vishal from Innate Philippines to help us in this section, where we are going to listen to young people's insights, research findings, and recommendations. I request Vishal to
Hello.
take us.
Hello, Sunil. Hi, hello.
Hello, Vishal. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunil. So, hello, everyone. Hello to our participants here in the Zoom meeting. So, right now we have 93 participants here in the Zoom. And I believe that we are also live in ASBA's Facebook page, and also we stream it in Inat's Facebook page. So, you can share it to your other young people out there. So, other young people can witness the amazing initiatives that the YAR COVID researcher that has done here for during this time of the pandemic. So as a starter, I'm Vishal. So I'm from the Philippines. I'm 21 years old. So and also I'm a youth advocate and I'm a youth leader ever since I was in high school. And I believe that when you give, youth a platform to engage, they will be empowered, just like me and other young people out there. So we will be starting with the discussion about the Youth Action Research or the YAR COVID-19 project that was carried in 9 countries by the youth themselves. So we have Bangladesh, Indonesia, Mongolia, India, Sri Lanka, Timor-Leste, Vanuatu, Nepal, and the Philippines. And we will be hearing with them the result of the project, some recommendations, and so on. So I will be moderating the first part, and I have 2 empowered young people with me, Strada and Kajal, who will help me moderating the second and third part. So for this part, I'm requesting Bangladesh and Indonesia to prepare their slides or PowerPoints as they will be talking about the context, the marginalization, and the action research process that they conducted during this YAR COVID-19 project. So maybe we can start with Bangladesh first and then Indonesia after Bangladesh. So can I request the young youth representative from Bangladesh for to discuss this part? Yeah, so for our participants, if you have any comments, feel free to write it in the chat box, or feel free to raise your hands and maximize the reaction button here in the Zoom meeting, so we can have engaging discussion about this. So thank you so much. I will now give the floor to Bangladesh.
Good morning. This is Enam from Bangladesh. I'm a youth mentor. So, in Bangladesh, first of all, we'd like to celebrate the day, uh, congratulating the youths across the globe and the youth across the region who has carried out this youth-led action research. Uh, We'd like to share some of the context and process of the youth-led action research carried out in Bangladesh. Can you go to the next slide? Next slide, please. Yeah. Uh, in Bangladesh, about 40 million learners were affected due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and the schools were closed from 18th March 2020, and learners were traumatized and they have lost their learning. So, Bangladesh witnessed progress in education during past 2 decades, which has been slowed down due to the pandemic. And there was limited access to technology for the most marginalized, and government announces stimulus package for recover the economic loss. But informal economy was facing much more challenges. There was not much action on that. Education and emergency response was limited to few areas. I'm coming to that in the next slide. And CAMPE as a national coalition was engaged in education and emergency program. It has carried out a rapid response survey and carried out facilitated a youth-led action research involving 4 partner organizations from different part of the country. And the key point I would like to highlight here that the youth said that due to lockdown, our mobility was locked down, but learning was not locked down. We learned from the context, we learned differently. Can we move to the next slide? So this is a timeline that shows that how government responded immediate after the pandemic. So 8th March, first case was detected. From 12th March, World Health Organization declared it as a pandemic. From 18th March, schools were closed. From 29th March, Bangladesh started online distance learning program on an emergency basis. And from 13th April, it started online content sharing through Prime Minister's office, and established education hub on 15th May onward. So there are a series of intervention ongoing. Can we move to next slide? So there are 4 modalities. We are using television, mobile phone, internet, and radio for this purpose. Can we move to next slide? So, although government has initiated the 4 modalities, but many of the youth and children could not get access to that online platform because of adversity. If you'd like to see the key features of adversity of youths in Bangladesh, we can emphasize on 2 critical issues. One is Bangladesh is enjoying the demographic dividend. That means more youth than elderly people and more workable force in the country. And there are about 2 million youths enter into the job market every year. That gives a big demand of job for the youth and a need of the education to prepare for the future. Can you move to the next slide? So To promote the youth, the government has announced a national youth policy in 2017, and it has highlighted different areas for youth, particularly empowerment them through education, training, and employment, and entrepreneurship, including ICT, health and recreation, good governance, sustainable development, equitable development, building a healthy society, globalization, and engage them with survey and research kind of thing. Next slide, please. We can see the adversity in different dimensions. There are some economic dimension, there are political dimension, there are geographical dimension, and socio-cultural dimension. So all these dimensions are interconnected and the
Hello.
Is it me or is
Hello.
really
Hello, Enam. I
Yeah, we
think,
lose your voice, and
yeah, I think
we
Enam
cannot
got
we cannot
disconnected. Um, oh, I think we have some technical difficulty right now. So, Enam, I think Enam got disconnected. He's no longer here in the Zoom meeting. So maybe so we can continue this later when Enam gets here. Maybe we can start with the presentation of Indonesia. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Or yeah, maybe Enam is experiencing some. Hi Enam. Hello Enam. Are you here already? Hello. You're muted.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
disconnected, just reconnected again. There was
Okay.
some
Okay.
internet connectivity problem. So
Okay. Okay.
can you move to the
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
presentation
Sure.
slide
Sure.
again?
Okay. Sure.
Okay, so now what we are mentioning that there are four dimension of looking into the exclusion of youths. Those are economic, political, geographic, and sociocultural. And there are some features written on the side. I'm not going to detail those. Can we move to the next slide? So this shows kind of adversities, how adversity has been manifested. So there are some human characteristics, for example, ethnic minority and indigenous group, poverty-stricken people, LGBT community, domestic workers, young women and girls, students in madrasa or religious education, single mothers, displaced or homeless population, sex worker, persons with disability, among others. Despite that, there are some factors, including those are geographical factors also contribute to adversity. For example, Bangladesh has a lot of lowland, we call Chora, Haor, Bil, etc. We have some island, we have some coastal area where people face different kind of adversity. We have hills, forest, and tea gardens where a lot of marginalized people live in. Now we have some former enclave with India. People in those areas also face different kind of challenges. The urban slum is common across the globe. They faces adversity. And remote inaccessible areas in the plain land, those face also different kind of adversity. Considering those, can we move to the next slide? Considering those, we have developed the youth-led action research plan. So we started in June 10 and completed by July 31st. So there are some preparatory work, then engagement of partner, 4 partner in different areas, then building capacity building of youth, interview of youths, then follow-up interview to complete some additional information, and preparation of the report and dissemination. So those are the key steps that we have followed. Can we move to the next slide? So these are this is the map of Bangladesh on the right hand side. The four dots shows the location. Can you see the presentation? PowerPoint is missing. Would you mind to move to the presentation? Yeah. So it shows the 4 areas and 4 partner. Astra Foundation in Khulna, that is on the bottom left. It is a climate change vulnerable area near to the Sundarbans, the largest mangrove forest, and Bay of Bengal. Then on the left top, uh, Alo in Natur. That area is famous for agriculture land, and this is a Chalonbil area, one of the wetland area in Bangladesh, large wetland area. Uh, and then on the middle in capital city, Shurovi work at the with the people at urban slum, and on the uh, bottom right, Jabaran Kalyan Samiti. It is a hill tract area, and a lot of ethnic minority community live in this area. So we have considered different factors of exclusion, and we chose 2 women-led organization and 2 men-led organization. We have developed a questionnaire in Bangla and developed Google form, then capacity building of member organization and youths, and that followed by case writing and data collection and case writing along with literature review. So altogether we have developed 21 cases. Can we move to the next slide? So uh, as there was a lot of challenges around the COVID-19, uh, n- n- uh, we had to engage with the different activities. Particularly, Camp has carried out a rapid response survey, and we are highly occupied in the April and May for that. And there was budget session. We have a high level of engagement in the budget advocacy. That is why we start a bit late. Um, and as the entire country was locked down from 26th March and until 5th June. It was difficult to communicate with people as well. However, uh, we worked with our partner, and major communication was focused on Zoom, Skype, Facebook, and Facebook Messenger, and WhatsApp, and a telephonic call. So we communicate with our members and partners and the youths. The capacity building session was carried out through Skype and Zoom, based on the comparative advantage of the local partners. So we try to accommodate with the need of the local partner. So that was the major issues. Can we move to the next slide? Okay, that was the key issues that we have followed, and there was a lot of learning after the data collection and case writing. We had a consolidation meeting using Zoom, and hopefully we'll be able to share the report soon. That's all from our side. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Anam. So, thank you, Adam. In our country, in the Philippines, every after presentation, we give the presenter isang bagsak or one clap. So can I request everyone to give one clap or even some bagsak to Enam for the presentation of the your COVID project in Bangladesh. So let's give Enam a clap. So 1, 2, 3. Okay,
Uh,
thank you to everyone who
the
gave
clap goes to
Enam.
the young researcher who has actually
Yes,
carried out this project,
yes.
not me. As mentor, my role is to convey this message to them. So I'm conveying it to them. Thank you.
Yes, yes, this club will go beyond, the young researchers and also to all young people out there. So, So thank you, Enam. So now I'm requesting the representative from Indonesia to discuss their your COVID-19 project. So hello,
Hello,
hello, hi,
Michelle.
hello, hi, Dara,
Today
hello.
I will share our COVID ER project. Do you can hear me? Because the signal in here is not good.
Okay, sure, sure. Okay, you have your presentation, right? Do you
Yes.
have your? Okay, so maybe we can start sharing her presentation here.
Yeah. Okay. I have.
All right, it's here.
Okay. Can see.
It's gone now. It's here a while ago, but I can see it. I can't see it right now.
Now you can see my presentation.
Oh, yeah, now it's better. Yeah, it's here now.
Okay. 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 Before I share my presentation, let me introduce myself. Maybe another representative don't know who I am. My name is Dara from New Indonesia. I want to share about COVID PR project in Indonesia, especially in South Sulawesi. And we have representative young researchers. We have Ilham in this presentation. So I will presentation about this. We research in South Sulawesi, three local region in Makassar, Pangkep, and Baru. We have 20 marginal young people researchers. Context of the project in 2019 from data BPS Statistics Center, one out of four people in South Sulawesi is young people with 16 until 31 age, or there are 25.51% of the population in South Sulawesi is young people. There are is many young people in South Sulawesi who are unable to go to school, and one of the factor that most effective for them is the economic factors or their parents' economic. There are still many young people in South Sulawesi who are unable because they are decide to help the parents and help the family, so they are not to continue their school. Actually, with the large number of young people in an area can help the regional economic growth. But if most of them do not go to school, young people cannot go to school, this is also a problem for the region. Yeah, this is a profile of young researchers from South Sulawesi. We have three researchers. We have Cindy, Siska, and Ilham. Cindy from Makassar, Siska from Pangkep Regency, and Ilham from Baru Regency. They are helped us to research 20 people, young 20 people in the three local area. This is our area, the background of location selection to researchers. We have Nepo Village, Satondo Island, and then Makassar. city. This is you can see the Makassar. We have many young people work in market, fish market. But in this Pangkep and Satondo Island, the young people cannot go to cannot access the school because this is far from the school, because they have to get the mountain and then have to go 2 hours by ship from the Regency capital. So we decide to research in these three area. Yeah, we have focus. We have focus research in young people with 15 until 28 age in Sulawesi. The background of children who taken for research is young people in the span of 15 until 28 age. The young people we choose for this study include student, young entrepreneur, young honorary teachers, fishermen and laborers, and young mothers from dropout from school. Yeah, most of those who drop out drop out of the school because they don't have sufficient funds, or they have financial problem from the family. So this is a problem. Many young people in South Sulawesi cannot continue their school and then decide to marry early. And this is how to the young people access to the COVID-19 news. Many people access from television and then social media, because the many people in South Sulawesi or maybe in the world have television, so they can watch information from the television. And then the social media, they have Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And the community, this is like people to people say about the COVID-19. This is they have information from the citizen. And this is the impact and challenges of from COVID-19 for students, because many students we telling about the problems they have COVID-19. They always say that if they stay long at home, there will be stress. And this is why they said the challenges is stay at home. It's very stressful and under pressure, because stay at home for too long and cannot meet friends, cannot meet other people, and make any activity. Properly due to limit and poor network for access the internet, because many area or village in South Sulawesi, this is limited access to get the internet. And the students have go to the mountain to access the internet. They go to the mountain in the morning and back to in the night to back to home after they get the internet, and then able to attend the online class every day, because the expensive fees of internet quota. This is for the student and parents, because the internet, this is free for student, and there is like they not every children can buy the quota and internet access. And then the government they have some area for the student get school, or maybe like some area and they can get the internet access in the location that make them cannot help their children, and this is the problem and challenges for.
Hello. Oh, hello.
Hello, hello,
Hello.
sorry, hello, disconnected. Hello,
Hello. Yeah. Okay. Now we can hear you now. We can hear you now. Yeah. Okay. Hello.
I want to share.
Okay. Yeah. Can you also wrap up the discussion? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is impact and challenges for students, and this is impact and challenges for the young entrepreneurs. Many young entrepreneurs, same with another student or maybe another young people in the world, they have a stressful, and then don't know how to build up the business, because the business decrease income between 75% to 100%, and they have to close the store because they don't have any income. The business is not running or even close because there are not buyers, and they cannot buy the stuff for the salary, and then unable to travel far for to find the materials. This is why they are cannot far to find another materials, because in the village they limited the access to get the material, so they have to go outside from the village and then have to get the letter from the hospital, because we have a protocol like social distancing in large area, and this is a challenge for the entrepreneur young. And then this is challenges for fishermen and laborers. There are loss of a job because job is only fishermen, and then when they catch the fish and they cannot sell it, and then hello, okay, they cannot cannot find another job because they don't have another skills. Only fishermen do not have income because they cannot sell the fish in the market because the market is closed. Difficult access come in out from the island to another village, because when they want to sell the fish or another, then they don't not only sell in the market but in our village. Decreased income, it's of course because they only get the income in week, only get 20, and then this is impact for a young mother. This is drop out school, not quitting school. This drop out from school. They have challenges, the lack of income that make it difficult to meet their daily life needs, because their knowledge and skill are limited. They cannot do another activities that can increase their income. The pressure that they receive is getting higher because beside taking care of their children, They must be smart as well in managing the financial of their family in order to be able to meet their daily needs. And this is honorary teachers young. This is Zakaria. The teacher names is Zakaria. This is 22 years old from Baru Regency. He said that difficult to access in internet in the village because the village is very difficult access, and uh, in adequate access to electricity in the village make it difficult to learn talking online. This is sometimes in day they have 3 or maybe 2 times the electric is dropped. It's like no lighting and no access to get the electric. Difficult to give assignments for the student because not all of the students have facilities to study online. This is difficult, and they have to make schedule to come from not room host to host to teach student uh, with no access like phone, like handphone like that, and did not get salary during COVID. Uh, during COVID-19, they don't have salary until now. They didn't have salary because they buying from uh, one day. If you teaching this time, you will get pay. But if you don't teach this because they don't have a salary during COVID-19, and difficult to meet their daily needs like that. And this is step that taken towards young people. We make a virtual discussion, give business motivation for the young entrepreneur, carry out routine monitoring, carry out the campaigns of clean and healthy, engage and dialogue, approaching the stakeholder. This is change that happened after the COVID-19. 20 people from 11 women and 9 men from 3 districts
Hello.
become representative.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Sorry. Hello. Sorry, Adriana. Can you wrap up the discussion right now? Because we still have 7 other countries to present. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, this is the innovative. It's like this is the end of the our slide. This is innovative from the young people in the South Sulawesi. They most of them don't want to linger in distress in this pandemic times. They want to make a build another creative like entrepreneur young. They have another choice to get the online store and buy from online, and then have another choice to make another skills, and then help to be a volunteers and from their village, and then to honorary teachers who are not paid, they open a shop to earn money for their needs of their family. And despite they have been doing new innovation in the new normal situation, they are keep following the health protocols that imposed by the governments. Yeah, this is my presentation. Yeah, this is recommendation for the stakeholders. The village government can allocate village fund for the development of young people business. Village government can facilitate learning center for young people by providing internet access that facilitated by the village. Local governments can support youth activities that related to the development of the village potential. Government and the private sector can help to open the market opportunities for products which produced by young people and help promote the products like creating a joint store for the products will be sold. Yeah, thank you. This is our presentation.
Thank you, Dara Adriana. Thank you, Indonesia. So everyone, can we give isang bagsak or one clap to Indonesia? So 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm only just seeing myself right now. Is participants video.
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you. Okay, thank you to the guy that clap. Okay, so thank you so much to that presentation. So thank you, Bangladesh and Indonesia. So I'm not seeing any comments in our chat box, but I think I will just like to emphasize, the learning that I got from the two presentations. So number one, the use of technology is really important right now in the during this time of the pandemic. So we've been talking about giving access to internet to the young people, especially in those in the villages, in the communities, and also maximizing different applications like Google Form, Facebook, WhatsApp, Skype, and so on. And also next, is exploring possible entrepreneurship businesses for young people, for them to earn, and help their family during the pandemic. So with that being said, so the first part is now done, and I'm now giving the floor next to Shraddha to further discuss the research project of our researchers. So thank you so much, and happy International Youth Day to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle, for this wonderful session. So, in this session, we got the insights about the presentation from Bangladesh and Indonesia. And in the further session, we will now get to know about what are the key research findings that our three coalitions from Mongolia, India, and Sri Lanka got from their research projects. So, the countries will be sharing about the impact of COVID on the young people and what are the impact in terms of health, education, livelihood, and any other areas also. So before giving the floor to Chimek is the vice coordinator at All for Education Mongolia. Before starting the presentation, I would like to request that other participant can share their feedback and suggestions in the chat box while the presenter is presenting their sessions. And also you can use your reaction button in the chat box, clapping or any other reaction buttons that you like. So we only have 7 minutes for each speaker. So when you will be close to the 7 minutes, I will remind you regarding the time. So without delay, I would like to give the floor to Chimek from Mongolia.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you are hearable.
Hi, I'm Mohchime from Mongolia. Thank you, Chandra. Please, first slide. Next slide, please. Okay. Mongolian government closed down all schools, universities, and kindergartens during this COVID crisis time from 27 January and until 31 August. After the Ministry of Education had been organized TV lessons for secondary school students, some universities and colleges had organized online lessons during this time, but they don't have online platforms. Students from remote and for households who are not connected to digital technology have been left out of the online education system transition. Online and TV lessons are difficult, not inclusive for the rural students, disabilities, and for youth and marginalized youth to learn. Unemployment and poverty were further exacerbated on March closure of all training centers, churches, and entertainment centers, except for the food markets. Please, the next slide. Okay. The young people who participated in our survey said that they had left home only a few times since the quarantine was imposed due to lack of exercise to gain weight, lack of food, vitamin deficiency, young people's mental health issue is anxiety, depressed, loneliness, separated from the society. Please, the next slide. Okay. For example, they said, therefore our family economy is in a bit of a crisis mode. To overcome this obstacle, we stopped having 3 meals a day. We have bread and butter at daytime and cook once a day in the just evening. On the mental health problems of young people, fear, depression, and being separated from society during the COVID, and internet connection and mobile network very slowly in Mongolian countryside. Herder students told me that TV lessons are not even possible for rural children and students because they always take care of livestock and help our parents. As herders, we work from sunrise until the evening time. Universities herder students couldn't attend online classes during March and April because they were combing goats in the order to support their household chores. And they told me I don't have for education. And LGBT young people in homophobic families, when they spend a lot of time with their families, they feel stress and depressed. They fear during quarantine time. Finally, our government of our country is taking economy and education and health measures at this time, but our young researchers and our participants and NGOs told it did not reach their target groups, especially marginalized group. Marginalized group, especially disabilities and poor students and house and herder students, the children. Then thank you, Asbay, for support this research, and thank you for attention. If you have any questions and any comments, we are ready to talk with you. This is some examples for our participants. Some cases. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay. Many young people learn this time in made a mask because in Mongolian masks cost so expensive during from February to April, 2 months. Okay. Thank you. I finished. Any question and comments?
Thank you, Chimek, for the presentation, and it was mm, it was just on some time. So, if there are any queries from the participant, maybe we can take 2 queries because we are on the time.
Okay.
So, if you have any queries for Chimek, you can share on the chat box also, or you can raise your hand, or else we can do it after all the 3 presentations also. So please keep your queries. So for the next, I would like to request from India, Kajal. Kajal is the project in charge of Abhivyakti Media for Development. So Kajal will be sharing about the key research finding of the research work.
Yes. Thank you, Shraddha. Here, can you please? Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Kajal from Abhivyakti Media for Development from India. Thank you for giving an opportunity to present the findings from youth action research in India. So, next slide. Yes. Next slide. Here, can you please move to the next slide? Yes. So in India, Abhivyakti did this small action research with young marginalized girls in 3 communities. And these are some of the major findings. So in my presentation, I will be focusing on findings of physical and mental health, impact of pandemic on education of girls, and its impact on the livelihood of girls. So next slide. Starting with the physical, next. Yes, next one. Next slide here, the slide about the impact on physical and mental health. Yes, no. Yes, the next one. So yes, as talking about the physical health impact of all this pandemic. So in India, as the schools are closed during the lockdown, so the girls are mostly at home, and everyone in the family too is at home. Therefore, the burden of household work has increased for girls. When the girls are asked about how this is affecting their physical health, then girls said that they feel tired because of the increased burden of this extra domestic work, as the girls had to take care of the household responsibilities, farm labor, and they had to walk a long distances for fetching water in the summer. And 10% girls said that it hurts their limbs, but surprisingly, 55%, which is a huge number, 55% girls said that they didn't mind the work and their health is fine, like it is not affecting on their health. At first glance, this may seem like a positive answer, but it is not. The girls avoided expressing their discomfort here, as they are conditioned to believe that they are supposed to endure the physical pain and not talk to anyone about it. And their response shows how natural it is for them to accept this suffering. Uh, and about the mental health, to understand the impact of all this on their mental health, it was not that easy. It was very difficult for girls to get them talking about these questions. Because the apathy about the mental health maybe was the reason behind girls keeping quiet over this matter. But when the researcher asked them in more depth, then 75% girls admitted that they feel some kind of stress, anxiety, and loneliness in these uncertain times. And 25% of them said that they're afraid that they might have to drop out from school after the pandemic situation because it has affected the financial conditions of their family. 25% girls said that they have fears that their families might get them married due to this lockdown period. 15% of the girls reported that they feel irritated by the increased workload and increased responsibilities at their homes. And 15% of the girls expressed the fear that without an opportunity to work, they would have no choice but to get married, and these fears are increasing their stress levels and affecting their mental health as well. Next slide. Then our major focus of this research was how this pandemic is affecting on the education and livelihood of these marginalized girls from rural communities. So currently in India, all the schools are closed, all the colleges are closed, and about 75% of the girls we interviewed were in the formal education process, that is, they were going to school or college, and 25% were dropped out from formal education. But girls who go to school or who are in the formal education process say that because the schools are closed for a long time and they have to stay at home full time and spend their time and energy in doing domestic work and farming, and they do not get any time to study because of all this increased and extra responsibilities. Although the online education has started, but it is not accessible to these girls because only 20% of the girls have their own smartphones. Even if they have smartphones, they may or may not have internet on it due to the poor network connectivity in their villages. And considering all this, the girls said that this new mode of online education is not useful for them. And if this continues for some more time, that like online education becomes a norm and schools are closed, then 33% of the girls said that they might have to get dropout from the education. The 33%, which is itself a large number, one third of the girls, but they are just talking about the possibility. But our analysis is, but after this pandemic, these numbers might be higher than this percentage. So girls in these villages who are studying skill development course, like said that they will suffer a lot due to this big gap. For example, Pooja, who is studying dressmaking, that is fashion designing in ITI, which is Industrial Training Institute in India, says that she don't have a sewing machine at home, and she used to sit in the ITI for a long time to practice sewing. But now that it's closed and she's forgetting what she learned already. And Pooja also mentioned that even though the online education has started, but it is not possible for her to sew online as it needs to be practiced by doing. So this means the skill development training that could have provided an employment opportunity to girls like her in the future has been hugely affected. And not only it is affecting girls' education, but it is also shrinking the employment opportunities they can get in future. And not only about the formal education, non-formal spaces of education for girls in the villages are also shrinking. Like Abhivyakti had started a Shodhini library, a girls-only libraries in these villages, but because of the physical distancing restrictions and inability to step out of their houses, girls cannot come to the library. So, which means in addition to the closure of formal education spaces like schools, colleges, and institutes, but non-formal spaces for education, especially for girls, are also shrinking. They're already less in numbers, but they're also shrinking. PowerPoint. Next slide about the livelihood. And the other important aspect was about the livelihood. This lockdown and pandemic has affected the livelihood of people at the most. So girls in the okay, can you see the presentation?
Not yet, Kajal.
Yes.
Yeah, we could see now.
Okay.
And also
Yes.
just a reminder that we only have 1 minute left.
Yes, yes, fine. The girls in the rural parts where the research was conducted go to work on farms and in some industries on daily wages. And these girls say that their families have been pushed into poverty, and therefore working on daily wages as a laborer might be the only option available for them to earn money after the pandemic, that is post-COVID. To help the families during these times, everyone at home will have to do like whatever work they can do, and in a however way they can contribute to their family. So because of that, girls will have to keep their dreams aside and accept the reality. Girls who were doing job already in Nasik and in surrounding cities had to return to the village in lockdown. So those girls are now less likely to return to their city for work after the lockdown. As we are quoting Sheetal here, Sheetal, who is who is preparing for the civil services examination in Nasik, but now she had to return to her village, and there is a possibility that she cannot go again to the Nasik and do the same thing she was doing. And therefore, this pandemic is affecting and shrinking the employment options before girls. And the last point which I want to mention is next slide. Apart from all this, girls recounted many things happening in their life, and I just want to emphasize on one important aspect of this, which is increased rate of early marriages of girls in India. So, as per the government guidelines issued, marriages are allowed to be organized with 50 people attending the ceremony. And the girls said that their parents are already burdened by the expenses of their daughter's marriage, and many parents are rushing to get the marriages done during the lockdown as the cost is very low due to the less people attending the marriage. So often such marriages take place against the will of the girl, and a lot of times the minimum legal age for girls for a marriage, which is 18 years of old, is not even considered two. So this was the important aspect which girls talked about. That's all from India. Thank you, Shraddha.
Thank you, Kajal, for the presentation. You have provided various highlights regarding the challenge faced by the girls regarding the increased child marriage, risks of increasing the dropouts and early marriage, which is actually the case of Nepal also, and maybe some other countries also have been suffering from the same challenges, challenges of skill development training also. Rika from UNESCO has suggested to share the stories, to share the videos into the link you can see in the chat box also. There are some queries from the Peter from Alka, which I will read at the end of after the presentation from Sri Lanka. So please, I request all the participants to provide their feedbacks in the chat box. We will come back to the presentators after the last presentation. So thank you, Kajal, for the presentation. And moving further, I would like to request Diniti from Sri Lanka. She is the project officer of Sri Lanka. So Diniti, you have 7 minutes for the presentation. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Sharda. I am Dinit from Coalition for Education and Development. We have successfully completed the YAR COVID-19 project in Sri Lanka. According to the schedule, we have to present major research findings. First, before I move to research findings, I would like to share with you small video clip to give the overall picture of COVID-19 YAR research in Sri Lanka.
Diniti, we couldn't hear the voice in the video.
Alfa ada. Atrai. Kemana? 5 Atrai di Alfamart.
Thanks for watching the video. Let's move to the research findings. Thea. Thank you, Thea. First, we will look at the impact on education. Although the other day-to-day activities have become normal or new normal, education system is still not being functioning properly. During the pandemic, education authorities promoted distance mode education. They encountered teachers and students to continue education through distance mode. As a result of that, Education Ministry introduced a separate educational TV channel to continue the education of students during this pandemic. However, schools have been closed for more than 160 days, but some schools are still conducting classes through internet and social media. In our research, we observed that however, the students in the popular school who don't and who has good economic background are able to adapt to the new education methods, basically utilize the internet-based platforms. But the students either from remote area or underprivileged families are not able to afford these methods. Furthermore, teachers have asked children to use mobile phone to continue their education. However, some of the parents don't have smartphone or a smartphone with required facilities to join on these online platforms. There were some incidents that some of the parents have take loan or use relief money to purchase mobile phone for their children. Here, I would like to share with you a story. There was a boy in our study sample who expected to sit for the ordinary level examination at the end of this year. His teachers are being carried out online classes using Zoom app. However, this boy unable to join these online classes as he don't have mobile phone or laptop. He felt hopeless, unhappy, and extremely worried about the examination. His mother was suffering from asthma for a long period and she is unable to work. His father is a laborer. During this lockdown period, they encountered a lot of financial issues as his father was not able to find any work. Finally, his father decided to purchase a mobile phone for him by taking a loan from loan shark in their area. I think this story is very good example to understand that how this distance mode alternative education has become a burden to marginalized families. In addition to that, data cost and poor internet connectivity also have become a major issue in Sri Lanka, as well as closing schools for a long period will lead to significant increase of schools dropouts. There were two young boys in our sample who wished to discontinue the education even they are in the doorstep of advanced level examination. His aspiration of leaving the school is to migrate to another country for seeking a job. However, in this environment, it is very hard to imagine that people are able to obtain a foreign job. As a result of closing schools for a long period will definitely lead to increase the school dropout ratio, especially in the marginalized community. But we are not able to quantify it or indicate a percentage at this moment. On the other hand, students complain that teachers are used to rush the lessons in order to cover the syllabus, and this has become a burden to the student. In addition to that, pandemic situation has become a significant negative impact on education of disabled community. Government has not paid special attention for the people with special needs. Next slide, please. And at the same time, teachers are not equipped with the distance learning methods. They don't have the facilities as well as required knowledge on the technology. Although the Ministry of Education has instructed to start online education and set up the infrastructure through MS Team and Zoom, teachers are not have been trained. Therefore, sometimes teachers have to depend on the students to solve the technical issues. At the beginning, students were not able to use the distance mode education system and they found difficult to adjust to the new learning methods. And most of them were in distress. However, now they are being adjusted to these systems. There was a girl in our study sample who is avoiding online classes. She complained that teachers give their attention only for the talented students, neglecting others. And although the online education technology has several uh, techniques and methods to interact with the students and measure the learning outcomes, we observe that still most of the teachers are utilizing on the basic features of these techniques. This situation could make a negative impact in the future. Next slide, please. Um, Now we will see the impact on education, economy. Almost all the respondents stated that they don't have permanent income source. Breadwinner of all the families are engaged in casual jobs, and during this lockdown period, they couldn't involve in income generation activities. So they basically reported following economic hardship as a family. Most of the families in our sample have taken housing loans or other loans to fulfill their basic requirements as they don't have proper continuous income during this pandemic. They are in severe debt trap. As a result of this situation, a student in our sample has planned to give up education to help the families to overcome their financial challenges. In addition to that, because of the travel restriction and limitation of the number of patients to the government hospital, people have to purchase medicine from private pharmacies. It was revealed that this is another burden to poverty affected families. Then I would like to introduce one of our young researchers, Dushanti, who interviewed plantation and LGBTIQ community. She will present the social impact of COVID-19. Dushanti, over to you. Dushanti.
Hello.
Dushanti.
Hello. Yeah. Hi everyone. Hello.
Dushanti,
Can
you
you hear
can
me?
start.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi everyone. I'm Dushanti. In addition to the economic problems in they had to face some negative impact in their today's special life. I am not going to read all of them one by one. But here I would like to say something on the behavior of the media because of the unethical behavior of the media, especially for affected peoples, encountered many difficulties on of that is social stigma. We met a student. He is from urban slum area of Colombo. He is living in extremely congested environment with limited facilities. I have mentioned that he is one of the member who is affected with COVID-19 in Colombo district. In his community, there are people who belong different ethnic group. They're living in harmony. Unfortunately, some families of the community infected COVID-19. In this moment, they become the main focus of the major television channels. With they exaggerated coverage, and because of the lack of media ethics in reporting, certain community groups was named for spreading the virus in the community. As a result of the uh, quarantines, sorry, coexistence among this community was the spoiled. He said because of the wrong message spread by the media, they have been cornered by their friends and their own community. For other people used to discriminately look at person who affected with COVID-19, who is coming back for the quarantine centers. They said have become because of the situation feel inconveniently and they are mentally distressed. In the social media, we could observe that certain communities were blamed for the spreading virus. This indicate the segregation of the community on ethic and religious based and the need of the address in our educational systems. Let's see the group of mechanism they have used during this period. Here I shall have mentioned again on the rural community significantly low. They have the freedom of the moment and they be allowed for engage in the agriculture activities. So they we able to continue day-to-day activities. However, the responded who were in the quarantine centers and hospitals stated that they have limited opportunities to involve in our activities. Some of the scope of activities are given in this slide. Fortunately, none of them were. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, we are able to hear
Okay.
you.
Fortunately, none of them were engaged in the negative cop mechanism. But we observed that there is a need of formula consultations to some of the respondents. Okay, thank you for listening, and I would like to especially thank you for SB for giving this opportunity of the present our finding and giving of opportunity to Sri Lanka youth to reveal their stories. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dusanti, and thank you, Diniti, for the wonderful presentation and also sharing us the video. There are some of the comments in the chat box also. So based on the sharing of three nations, we can see that the current pandemic has increased the risk of reverting back the progress that all our countries made in the period of more than a decade. And there is the increased digital divide, widened inequality gap, unemployment, and also mental, physical, and socio-economic issues, which has ultimately posed the risks in the socio-economic development of all our nations. And also it has mostly affected the ones, the youths, especially from the marginalized communities. So maybe with this we can I can give floor for the ones who can provide their input or feedback in the for the all our three presentators. So maybe you can raise your hand if you want to share anything. So no hands. I think we all are clear on the sharing. So there were two questions for India and Mongolia. So Peter had asked for our colleagues in Mongolia that if it would be great if they could share the findings regarding the alternative sleep and hygiene that AFE Mongolia found in their research. And also there was a question from Alka to our colleagues in India that how government social schemes regarding unemployed youth stipend is impacting for the youth. So I give just one minute for both of our colleagues in Mongolia and India. First, the colleagues in Mongolia can respond to the questions. Chimek, are you there? Okay, so before we catch her, maybe Kajal, can you respond to the questions regarding how government social schemes regarding unemployment youth stipend is impacting for the youths?
Yeah. Yes, in the case of girls, our research was about young and adolescent girls in India who are yet to start something for their livelihood, and some of them are working on daily wages, as I said. But about the governmental schemes for employment, talking about this, we have National Guarantee Scheme, which provides livelihood to minimum livelihood of minimum 100 days in a year to families. And in this pandemic time, youth who were working in the cities like Mumbai and Nasik have been returned to their villages. Like it was a huge migration because of this pandemic, and the demand for employment through National Employment Guarantee Scheme has been increased rapidly, and but the figures which are up to end of May says that government was able to provide livelihoods to only 30% of the families who asked for the livelihood under this scheme. And yes, this findings was about the livelihood status of families of girls, about girls who are studying and who are just working on daily wages. Uh, yes, and I just want to mention that Anita in the chat box said that she's surprised only 20% girls have the smartphones, and yes, Anita, but I just want to mention that these 20% girls are them who are doing something for their livelihood in the cities, and they have purchased these smartphones from their own income. So we are not sure that they may be able to use that smartphone in their homes and in their villages during this pandemic, but 20% is very less. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Kajal. So maybe Chimek, you can respond to the questions in the chat box also. So with the review of all the sharing from 3 coalitions, this year's Youth Day theme is also related to youth engagement for the global action. So we heard the stories from 3 different countries on how youths are being engaged at their local level on the issues of their communities. So there are also some of the innovative approaches that have been identified by the youths despite of the several challenges that they faced during this pandemic. So I guess it's time for all of us to motivate the youth and to listen all of the recommendations and suggestions that the youth have come up with after this research work. So I request all of you to provide a huge round of clap for all of the participants. You can use the symbol in the chat box to clap for all of the participants that shared. So with this, I would like to give the floor to Kajal for the further sessions moderation. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Shraddha. And hello, everyone. I'm Kajal from India, and I will be moderating this session about the recommendations derived from youth action research on the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the marginalized youth. So far in last 2 sessions, we have heard about the context and process of the youth action research and some major and key findings from 3 countries. And in this session, we are going to discuss about the recommendations of young people, recommendations for the government, like recommendations for local government, and for the organizations working with youth as well. So in this session, we have 3 presenters from 3 different countries. We have Jose with us from Timor-Leste. We have Lakshmi from Nepal, and I think we have Mia, who will be presenting on behalf of Philippines. I welcome all the presenters. Just to remind that all the 3 presenters will have 7 minutes each for their presentation. As we are already running late, let us try to stick to the time limit so that we can take more questions and comments. And participants can put their comments and questions in the chat box so that the presenters can talk about it later. So without wasting any time, I would like to request Jose from Civil Society Education Partnership from Timor-Leste to talk about the youth recommendations from Timor-Leste. Over to you, Jose.
Thank you, Kajal, and good afternoon, all participants. My name is Jose De Jesus from Timor-Leste as a National Coordinator for Civil Society Education Partnership. I hope everyone can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Let me share my screen.
We can see your screen.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Timor-Leste is also implementing the youth action research on COVID-19. This is the Timorese youth recommendation that we have and got from the youth researcher and the marginalized youth who respond to our research questions. So our youth researchers have to visit all the houses to interview the marginalized youth to identify what impact have faced by these young people in Timor Leste. So here are the pictures that our youth researcher visiting their house to interview and collecting the data. So the conclusion and the recommendation, I would share the recommendations from the young people in Timor Leste on the impact of COVID-19. The marginalized youth who living in rural areas, very stressful and trauma or panic due to the lockdown situations that banning the people's gathering during the COVID-19 pandemic globally, especially in Timor-Leste. Because of the schools, employment markets, and no opportunities for running their business as normally, no family incomes to support and purchase food, as well as not accessing to learning distance due to the limited facilities, electricity, money to purchase mobile credit. These are the findings, which is actually similar with other countries. So I'll be focusing on the recommendations that the young people expressed to us. The policy recommendation that expressed by marginalized youth were establishing the non-formal education and training opportunities as community learning centers for those marginalized youth and people with disabilities to access it in the village level where they live by partnership between government through the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport, development partners and civil society organizations that provide the non-formal education and training in the country. And suggestions and the recommendation through this research, the marginalized youth recommend to the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport, Ministry of Health, National Police and civil society organizations that works on education sectors to continue distribute the COVID-19 prevention wellness package, raising the community awareness through media and health persons have to touring down to the local levels to disseminate the information for poor people in the rural areas, especially the young people, because COVID-19 cases still exist in Timor-Leste and the lockdown situation is still running until September 26 next month. The young people also recommend to establish the non-formal education programs and training center in the village level to reach out marginalized youth accessing the education and learning opportunities in various areas that they prefer, such as language, computer, horticulture skills, arts, tourism, especially on community-based tourism, business management, and science as needed, because the need of the young people in different villages in different places are different. Therefore, these are the skills that the young people need in the village level. Supporting the family necessities such as subsidies for family income recoveries and food for community in the village level during the pandemic situation. We also they also recommend to the national police to maintain and strengthen security controls in the border between Indonesia and Timor-Leste to reduce the illegal movement between Indonesia and Timor-Leste to reduce the local transmission of COVID-19 cases in the border areas. These are the recommendations and the challenges that similar to other countries. Most of the young people marginalized young people in the village level, they lose their employment opportunity. The lack of business movement in the villages, so it affected them during the COVID-19 pandemic. After we found the recommendations and presented by these young people, we last month were civil society education partnership together with the young youth researchers from 12 municipalities across the country came together to Delhi. We invite them to establish a marginalized youth forum. This is the first time forum that we established based on the recommendations raised by the young people in during the research. Through this marginalized youth forum, we can strengthen their voice to recommend an advocacy, doing the advocacy in the national and local level, so that their voice can be heard and their recommendation is also be considered by the government and the line ministries. Because the reasons the establishing this marginalized youth forum is to strengthen their voice and submit their recommendations, what they need in the future, so that their voice can be strong together with CSOs, civil society organizations, and including the education coalitions as well. Um, Last month, we established this marginalized youth forum, and we established this full structure of MYF to do the advocacy with the government, especially with the relevant line ministries. So now we already established formally the marginalized youth forum in Timor-Leste. So after the establishment of marginalized youth forum, we brought the recommendations from the youth action research together with structures that have been established in for marginalized youth for marginalized. We civil society organizations bring them to introduce the forum to His Excellency Secretary of State for Vocational Training and Employment, and we submit these recommendations to the Secretary of State to consider in the next state budget, because Timor-Leste is currently discussing the state budget in the parliament soon. Therefore, their voice have to submit to the Secretary of State or to the government, so that in the discussions of the state budget, their ideas can be considered in the discussions. Just last week, we met the Secretary of State for Vocational Training and Employment to recommend the recommendations to the government. And after meeting with the Secretary of State, we also met with the Her Excellency Vice Minister of Community Tourism and Cultural. We present the structure of forum marginalized youth and bring the several recommendations to the Vice Minister to consider, especially the recommendations that young people presented. They lose their business income and and their employment opportunity. So their recommendation to the Vice Minister is to how the government can create and support the idea, especially on the community tourism activities, so that they continue to recover their business through that activities. So this advocacy, I think this is the advance when we compare with the year schedule, but it's related to the recommendations that the young people present, and we bring their voices to the government to consider in the government plan for the next year. I think that's the work that we do right now, and the recommendations and the presentations of their voices to the government within this period. So thank you so much for your attention. I'm very welcome to respond to any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Jose, for very concrete and specific recommendations, and for the efforts from Timor-Leste of putting it in front of the government and at different platforms also. We can discuss about the comments and questions after the presentation from two countries. So after this, we have presentation of recommendations from Nepal. We have Lakshmi from National Coalition of Education in Nepal. I request Lakshmi on the floor to talk about the recommendations from Nepal.
Okay, thank you, Kajal. I am Lakshmi Nepal, a focal person of Youth Action Research of National Campaign for Education Nepal. NC Nepal since 2018 has been implementing youth action research in 3 communities of Nepal, Dukuchap, Odanwar community, and Pangao and Bungmati community. So in Nepal, uh, now I think my screen share has been shared. So are you hearing me? Hello?
Yeah, we can
Yes,
hear you.
we can hear you. Yes.
Okay, thank you. In Nepal, now I will go through the slide. In Nepal, the majority of the youth population have been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, nearly about 83%, and they are going through the mental health problems, psychological issues, social abuse, and this pandemic has worsening the livelihood of the youth, and the suicidal case has been increased during the COVID-19 pandemic by during the 1 month time. 659 cases of suicide has been reported, and also the government of Nepal has estimated that the dropout rate of school children would be increased to 2.1 million after the COVID-19 pandemic. This data shows the cases reported during the month of March to May, and the total incident recorded during the 2 months period was 1,059, where the number of girls and boys are equally affected, and the cases of abuse and violence has been increased in the nation, like sexual abuse, physical and mental abuse, and trafficking. And also the violence and abuse has hit a high ratio of girls than the boys, and the cases of child marriage has also been increased in the nation during the 2 months period. And so to know more about the youth and the situation of youth during the pandemic, we have conducted research in 3 communities: Dukusa, Bungmanti, and Pangao communities of nations. And these communities are the marginalized communities where the people have to struggle for their livelihood, and to run their have to struggle for their livelihood. And there is also the lack of access of education, lack of transportation, and this has led to the more increase in the dropout rate of children. And also due to this, there is the less of education, access of education to the community people. And through going through this, we have gone through different methods and process to collect the information from youth. We have made interview, verbal communication, and focused group discussions with the youth researchers of our 3 community, and some youths have also shared the self-narrated story, and had made focused group discussion with the NCE team. After this, the major findings from our research shows that the youth and the community people are going through many challenges, like they lack the access of alternative learning and education. The psychological issues, mental health and illness has been increased in the use, and due to the low opportunity for income generation, the economic status of the family has decreased, and there seems the financial crisis. This has led to the quarreling between the parents, and so such cases has resulted in the more use of alcoholism, and social abuse in the community level, and child marriage cases has also increased. And furthermore, we can categorize the findings into three categories of youth. One, youth being panic of the situation, and they are going through the psychological suffering, and the economic burden has been increased in the youth due to the loss of job opportunity. Also, the child marriage cases has been increased, and they are much struggling to run their livelihood, and their learning activities has been disturbed during the pandemic situation. And another categories of youth are making self initiation to cope up the pandemic. Like they are involved in the household activities, supporting their parents in farming and agriculture, and also they are engaged in the learning activities of their siblings. And also some of the youth have established own local business in the local communities, like they have started to produce sanitizer masks in the own local level, and painting and sculpture and tailoring activities. So such groups of youths are making some sort of initiation to cope of the pandemic. And another category of youths are working for the community and to solve the community issues. Like they have established the peace center for the promotion of the learning of the children, and to initiate tuition classes for children of the community. Further, they have been involved in the volunteering and relief campaign initiated by the local government. And also they have self-initiated and established the cleanliness campaign in the community to raise the community awareness. And some they have also run the counseling classes to friends and community people, so that they can cope up the pandemic. And further going on this, we can find that the CSOs and local government had made some initiations to the community level, like they have distributed relief materials to the vulnerable class people. They have started virtual classes. The textbooks has been distributed to the children of the community, and also the awareness campaign and counseling programs has been launched there. But with these initiations from the CSOs, local government, there also still seems lacking so there also seems some challenges to the youth which they are going through. And looking at the overall scenario, still there is the need of the safe space for the youth, so they can share their ideas to own level of group, and further engaged in the community level engagement. And also the youth have demand that the learning materials and internet assets should be available in the community level at low price, so that all the marginalized groups and vulnerable peoples could also be able to have the alternative learning system, and the for the continuation of the education and learning of the children. And going through this, we also knew that the youth want the acknowledgement of their contribution and initiation they have made in the community level. And the government CSO should take as the youth is the partner of development in the developmental works, but not youth should not be mobilized as the beneficiaries. This would encourage and motivate them to further contribute in the community level works. If we and some youth who are going through the panic situation, they should be provided with psychological counseling programs through local media, and if possible then in local language, so this will also help them to fight against the pandemic. And if some sort of charity donation and funds are provided to the youth, then they could help to the most vulnerable people and family in their own community. And now looking all these findings, challenges, and suggestions from youth, we have some conclusions and recommendations
Lakshmi,
to the local government. Yes.
hello. Can I request you to just wrap in 1 minute, as we have one more
Okay, now
presentation?
I will conclude it in 1 minute.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. So looking at all this above, the major conclusion and recommendation from our resources that the youth are going, the COVID-19 pandemic has long-term effect in the youth's livelihood and mental health because they are because the threat of inequalities has been increased, and the social crimes and abuse has also created some sort of threat on the youth. And so to cope up, if we link the education and learning to the livelihood and earning, then it will help youth to cope up the pandemic and to contribute. Further, the local government and CSO should empower the youth in voluntarism works and in the development works development work. So this will motivate and encourage the youth to develop themselves is to take pandemic as opportunity and develop themselves as entrepreneurship. And if they are acknowledged and motivated, the further it will also help to cope the further pandemic. And the establishment of learning centers, community learning centers, and learning space to the youth also helps to cope the pandemic and further any type of pandemic and disaster. So these are the some of the conclusion and recommendation that we have collected from our 2 months engagement research and surveys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lakshmi. Thank you for presenting your research findings along with the recommendations. And we can see that the youths need support in different areas, like as Lakshmi presented, in financial support or in psychosocial support or infrastructure for accessing online education. So thank you again. And we have our last presenter in this session. This is Mia from Philippines. Can I request Mia from ENATE? Hello? Yes. Uh,
Hi. Okay. Good day, everyone. I am Yan from Safe Cities Theater Group, and with me is Miss Mai Maluping from Youth for Nationalism and Democracy, in partnership with INET and ASBE, presenting the stories of marginalized youth amid COVID-19 pandemic. Two of us will be sharing on behalf of the YAR COVID Project Philippines. But first, I'll introduce to you what the organization does before and during this pandemic. Our organization presents a free theater play in near barangays. The theme of our plays is not only about the love life of the youth, but also on how the youth face their problems in their own ways. We already made a theater play story about unwanted pregnancy, teenage pregnancy, extrajudicial killings, out of school youth bullying, depression, violence against women, and the likes. Before this pandemic starts, we already did some fundraisings. Every Christmas, we made a play for the kids. Every fiesta, basketball league, and every start of the school year, we are giving free bags, notebooks, ball pens, and anything that can help the mothers of those kids to lessen their financial needs when the school starts. Um, our organization focuses only on the kids and women's. Now that this global pandemic starts, the youth suffers big time. Next slide, please. Ate Patria's organization, as you can see, conduct a research on the community of Bagbag and Holy Spirit. She has 6 respondents from child youth age range from 13 to 17 years old, 3 respondents from the core youth, and 1 from the young adult, which is her. While on our community, next, please. While on our community, we have 1 respondent from the child youth and other 10 respondents from the core youth. Um, Next, please. As you can see, there is their stories. First, their problems. Uh, in this pandemic. First is the online classes. How about who didn't really have the means, like me, who don't have my cell phone? I only borrowed it from my cousin because my phone's mouthpiece and the speaker is broken. How can we engage in that kind of study with no gadgets, no signal, no internet, also electricity to come up with the learning materials? Some of my friends here in our community don't have their own electricity. They can't afford to pay for that. Their light came from a candle. When it rains, it floods inside their house. So how can they afford that kind of study? It's not free and affordable. So it shows that education in our country is anti-poor. Some families can eat regularly three times a day and struggle in their livings. How can they afford to buy a sufficient phone and internet for online class when they don't even have their electricity? So really realize that not only the kids and the women, but everyone needs help. So we start to think about how can we help everyone. Like we are only youth advocates, youth who will help us anyway. Our age range is from 16 to 22 years old. What can a group of youth can do for everyone in this pandemic? We didn't really have any idea about how can we help everyone. So we start to focus on the W's, which is the what, who, and when. Like what do they need? So I mean we what we need food, because we realize that it is not only the pandemic, it is also the hunger. Everyone loses their job, and this kind of community where I am in, stocking of foods is not possible. It's really impossible. And the second one is who needs that? Everyone of us, not only the kids, not only the women. And the third one is when. Today. They need it now. The government here in the Philippines didn't think about the pandemic. For me, I think they didn't think about the pandemic because they don't mind the virus. They focus on other things like for example, the shutdown of a network that have 11,000 workers. Yes, 11,000 workers who lose their job during this pandemic. And that was something that I can't imagine they can do that despite of the pandemic. They focus on other things like no virus is spreading all over the world. So back to our actions. We, the youth organization, contact our friends and other NGOs who we think can help us. And yes, we did it. They give us funds for the relief. The youths are the ones who go to the supermarket to buy goods. We are the ones who repack and distributing it. After the first batch of the relief operations, we post it on our social media accounts, and a friend of a friend shares it until it reaches big corporations like Bakongwei Brothers, Rubina Corporations, our very own CHR community. CHR has CXPEL in it, and many more non-government organizations. Actually, we already distributed about to 7 barangays. Yes, and for the uh, next that was the picture of our documentaries. That was me on the first picture, and the other one is our respondents, who is also a volunteer and the SciTag, part of the SciTag members. And next, please. And that picture, the organizational activities help members to be busy and productive amid the pandemic. And that was from the YND, Youth for Nationalism and Democracy. It's from Ambagbag and Holy Spirit. They are giving some sanitary pads. And next, please. Next slide, please. And yes, that was the relief goods that we already distribute. Next, please. We also through your messenger chat group, um, um, we also communicate your COVID-19 initiative and initiatives to larger public. We do it we we name it kalambag or in Tagalog kalampag or to make noise at ambag or contribution of the youth in the middle of COVID-19 pandemic. Next, please. Next slide, please. Okay, Miss Mai, it's your turn. Thank you so much. Miss Mai?
So, good afternoon, everyone. I am Pat being representative of the Youth for Nationalism and Democracy, a national progressive youth and student organization in the Philippines, and the Unity of Women for Freedom or Kaisa Ka Solo Parents Association. This afternoon, I will represent in its conclusion and recommendation based on the interviews done by SkyTag and Youth for Nationalism and Democracy. As our first presenter said, Yen and I helped gather data from our youth members. We asked about their experiences in our poor communities during the 72 days lockdown due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This pandemic exposed how low-income families residing in colonies of informal settlers are vulnerable to getting infected, infecting others, and eventually dying of it due to lacking medical responses. The very limited and local government-dependent public health response literally left us on our own to get by. Many of us became jobless while cost of living spikes. We need to earn to continue to put food on our table, pay utility bills, buy soap and face masks, pay our hospital bills, and to buy gadgets and internet connection to be able to study. Hospitals are full. Doctors and patients are dying in isolation tents. We want to take care of our parents at home, but we don't have isolation rooms because our homes is a one size fits all room. Gender inequality is a yawning gap that can be seen on how policemen treat prostituted women. They are being raped before delivered to their customers for a measly income of 150 pesos. Most women were either vendors, online sellers, or and food chain waitress or sales lady became jobless. And when we break the law to earn a living, we are confronted with brute force. Duterte government's ineptitude in handling the pandemic is putting our lives on the line, and its corruption-ridden government steals the subsidy 18 million families ought to receive. Only 45% of the 18 million beneficiaries receive subsidy, but our national debt has gone up to 9 trillion pesos right now. They say there is no money. So we ask, where is the money? How was it spent? To keep us silent, and as it refuses to take account, terror law was passed and militaristic instead of medical approach was used. They say young people are the future of every nation and education is the key for social mobility. But without government support for all aspects of our lives, how can we finish formal education? Even so, what does the future hold for us, the debt-driven generation? We call on all sectors of our society to provide us immediate relief. So next slides for the recommendations. Next slide. So our recommendation is for financial and food assistance, identify, trace, isolate, and heal the infected community members. Give us back our jobs, help the micro and small, medium enterprises bounce back, provide disinfecting tents, hand washing stations, and isolation areas for poor communities. Government must ensure no one is left behind by providing free public Wi-Fi, training of teachers and parents, adjusted modules and outputs, as well as gadgets for poor students. Build a training center for single parents to hone their skills. Build a medically safe and child-friendly community daycare so mothers can go to work, so we can fight for better state policies and the youth-friendly government to better our future. Next slide. So we hope that our government to prepare and provide educational requirements for children and for continuity of education amid of COVID-19. So establish the support and operationalization of community learning centers. This is where my presentation ends. Again, I am Patria Maluping from Youth for Nationalism and Democracy, and with my partner, Miss Yen from SkyTag, and with partnership of INET Philippines and ASBay, we will show you a video of our interviews in a while. Thank you.
Tony from SciTag, a SciTag member here in Commonwealth, Barangay Commonwealth. That was their house. Was our picture distributing the relief goods that we get from our sponsors. That one was from Gokong Way Brothers.
Ang mga challenges na nararanasan namin ngayon, yung siyempre nararanasan din ng iba. Yung tagutom. Siyempre yung karamihan na walang trabaho. Lalo na dito sa bahay, wala kaming trabaho. Sobrang hirap talaga. Tapos sa bahay namin, yung pag umuulan ng malakas, siyempre hindi tuloy yung nararanasan namin yung agos talaga parang waterfalls. Tapos siyempre kita-kita nyo naman puro tolda na lang yung bahay namin. Pati yung dingding, paubos na. Para makakope up dun sa challenges na yun, siyempre mag-iisip ka lang talaga ng malalampasan niyan. Maging positive thinker. Siyempre, kapag inisip mo pa ng masyado, siyempre, may stress ka lang lalo. Tapos, hindi mawawala dyan yung pananalig eh. Always pray lang talaga. Ang epekto sa akin na ito, siyempre, nararanasan naman natin lahat yung gutom. Tapos, siyempre hindi na rin mawala dyan takot na mahawaan. Sa pag-aaral naman po, siyempre bilang estudyante, fourth year student na po ako ngayon. Siyempre kailangan natin mag-OJT. Yung OJT ko po is sa community. So kung magiging online, paano po ako makapag-OJT sa community? Mag-OJT po ba ako sa online? Ang magaganap na pagbabago sa buhay namin. Siyempre, limitado na lang yung oras eh. Hindi ka na makagalaw ng malaya. So, hindi ka na basta-basta makakapunta ko sa pamilya mo kung saan na importante. Kung saan maging papel po ng kabataan sa panahon ngayon. Isa po ako sa volunteer ng community namin. Member po ako ng Safe Cities Youth Theater Advocacy Group. Bilang volunteer po, tutulong po ako mag-repack, mag-distribute. Minsan po nagdo-document po ako ng pagpapamigay namin sa community. Kakailanganin namin ngayon, siyempre yung mabilis na na pag-aksyon ng government. Tapos yung pantay na pagtingin sa mamamayan, walang pinipili. Kung papatakbo ng pera ng bayan, kailangan dapat record lahat walang may bubulsa.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was all.
Yes, thank you, Yan, and thank you, Mai, for such a wonderful presentation and for bringing the authentic youth voices here in the discussion. We have very specific recommendations from all these three countries. Thank you, presenters, for putting it so aptly. I think we don't have enough time to open the floor for discussion, but if the participants have any questions, any comments for the presenters, they can put in the chat box. And I just want to mention that Rika from UNESCO had shared an online tool to support the youth activities, youth initiatives. So we can have a look on that. Thank you, Rika, and thank you, presenter. Because of the time constraint, we have heard recommendations from only 3 countries, but we believe that every recommendation is important, and we need to recognize and address it in this event. So I will be just emphasizing some of the recommendations from other countries who did not get the chance to present their recommendations. Um, yes. Next slide here. So we have recommendations from 6 countries, but I will not repeat the one which has been already discussed in earlier presentations. But I will start with Sri Lanka. Uh, Here I cannot see anything on screen. It's blank. Yes. In the case of Sri Lanka, most of the recommendations are about online education. Youth says that teachers need to be equipped with sufficient knowledge and skills on information technology and distance mode of education. Students as well as teachers need to be educated on the ethics of and standards of online education in order to avoid risk and any harm to using internet. And civil society organizations should promote informal system for education. As we can see that in all the countries recommendation, we can see the demand for promoting the informal and non-formal spaces of education for youth. In the case of India also, recommendations are about girls education post-COVID, government support and support for employment. So girls need some relief assistance and psychosocial support and financial support for education for starting their own businesses, and they need support for farmers as their families are based on farms. In the case of Indonesia, most of the recommendations are for the local government. Local government should allocate village funds for business development by young people, and they should build effective community learning centers for online education with the facility of internet and infrastructure for it. And they should provide the market support and promotion of community-made products. About the Bangladesh, Bangladesh, next slide. Yes. Yes, second, Bangladesh needs to demands to address the gender issue, particularly combating for gender-based violence and early marriages in Bangladesh. Also, their recommendation is to promote the lifelong learning with a focus on 21st century skills. And Ministry of Education and Ministry of Youth should work together and engage more youth in life skills development and enhancing capabilities of youth. We have recommendations from Mongolia. Mongolia says that government should provide free learning opportunity and organize educational activities, and they should provide internet and infrastructure for youth education. And extra psychological support and attention should be given to LGBTQI plus community and for people with disability. And the last is from Vanuatu. Government should support youth employment and generate more livelihood opportunities for the marginalized youth, and they need counseling and guidance for the youth. So these were the recommendations from other 6 countries. We hope that this helps to understand the situation of youth and their demands and recommendations for their well-being during and also post-COVID world. I thank you all the presenters again for contributing with the very concrete recommendations in this discussion and for bringing the youth voices. Thank you all the participants for your comments and responses in the chat box also. And I request Heya here to take the floor for next discussion.
Thank you so much, Kajal. Thank you to all the presenters. We are always inspired by the recommendations coming from our youth researchers. And what we find very inspiring also is the process by which the young people were able to conduct their research, even with limited mobility and the danger that is posed by going around the community. So thank you so much to the youth researchers for doing this. Now we have so many recommendations, and Kajal gave us the thesis, the key messages or key recommendations coming from different countries. At this point, we would like to invite our partners to give their responses and also to share, possible collaboration with young people. So we have in this session, we'll have three speakers. So let me introduce them first, and then we can listen to their remarks. One of our speaker is from the government of Nepal. He is Mr. Bamsalal Tamang. He is the mayor of Indrawati municipality and also the general secretary of the Federation of Rural Municipality in Nepal. And as General Secretary of Rural Municipality, Mr. Tamang has direct access to all the municipalities especially in rural areas in Nepal. And we heard that many of the recommendations are coming from the youth in the remote areas. So we are happy that Mr. Tamang is here. And the Federation is also influential in lobbying key issues for program development in government, especially since in Nepal, as we know, the Nepal political system is a federal system where local government and district governments have a lot of decision-making powers. So, Mr. Tamang, thank you so much for being with us. Our second speaker will be Ms. Rika Yuzu from UNESCO. She is the program specialist, Section of Higher Education, Education Sector, UNESCO. But I would like to share with you that Rika has been our long partner in the youth action research, youth-led action research, which we started in 2016. But the collaboration and UIL started way back in 2013 when we invited young people from marginalized youth to speak in a global youth and literacy forum in Indonesia. So we're very happy to have you, Rika. And Rika is working with UNESCO, I mentioned, and she is looking after the UNESCO chairs and unit wing members in Asia and the Pacific, which is a network of higher education institutions and research institutes supporting UNESCO's mandate. So thank you, Rika, for joining us. And then we have with us also Mr. Chris Henderson, who is from UNICEF Regional Office for South Asia, or UNICEF ROSA. In UNICEF ROSA, Chris is working with gender and addiction sections on girls and boys learning continuity and psychosocial well-being during the COVID-19 pandemic and also beyond the COVID-19. Chris has also worked in adolescent development, youth employability, and skill development in Southeast Asia and the Pacific. And he is also the co-chair of the Interagency Network for Education in Emergencies, or INE, Teachers in Crisis Context Working Group specifically. So Chris is from New Zealand, and he holds a Master of Education from the University of Sydney, and he is preparing to transition to Teachers College in Columbia University. So thank you so much for being with us to give your comments, remarks, also responses to the recommendations coming from the youth. So let me call Mr. Tamang to take the floor, please. Mr. Tamang?
Hi everyone, and namaste from Nepal. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Tamang. We can
Yes.
see you also.
Oh, okay. I would like to thank you. First of all, I would like to thank you, the ASBE, for inviting in such a wonderful Zoom meeting in the eve of International Youth Day. And I would like to congratulate and thank you, Mr. Ram Guerre and Sudarshan Sikdalji from National uh, Center for Education, Campaign for Education, for inviting me to join with this wonderful meeting. Actually, physically, I'm 57-year-old, and mentally, I'm 25th year young youth. So, first of all, and the secondly, I would like to thank you and congratulate all the dynamic and energetic presenters today from the Asia and the Pacific, like from Bangladesh, Mongolia, Indonesia, India, Sri Lanka, Timor, Nepal, and Philippines. They have done a lot of wonderful research during the COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic has affected every group and sector of the people. Majorly, the youth groups has been facing a lots of issues like mental and social and economically. In such condition, the youth who are known as the actor of the nation building has been impacted by the pandemic, especially of the marginalized, the low class people. So in the such situation, need the counseling, support, and motivation through the situation. In that case, NARMIN, my organization is known as NARMIN. NARMIN is a national association for rural municipalities in Nepal. We have 460 rural municipalities, and NARMIN is one of the umbrella organization of the 460 municipalities. And NARMIN is one of the member organization of the UCLG, Asia at the Pacific. We have another Asia Pacific organization. So NARMIN appealed to local government to empower and mobilize the youth at the local level in the rapid response and relief situation. In the case of Nepal, we are facing stimulus problem of the COVID-19 and the flood in the Tarai and landslide in the hill area. During this pandemic in Nepal, in the context of Nepal, the local government played a very impressive and a dynamic role to protect the COVID-19 pandemic spreading to the community. In the relief, in the case of relief, in the case of motivating the people. So looking into the today's discussion, I felt very glad and I know that today your youth in some areas have started their own initiatives for contributing to the community, also have identified COVID as an opportunity for starting small-scale enterprise. Now, as a local government, it is our role to empower and acknowledge these efforts of the people at the unit level, at community level. So in case of Nepal, technical and vocational education in educational curriculum is the major discrepancy. Discrepancy is resulting to the higher rate of youth unemployment, and this COVID-19 situation has further added to it. We will focus on revising the curriculum and also ensure the participation of youth in the curriculum development. In this situation, let me share some important data relating to the youth in Nepal. 89% youth are literate, 19% youth are unemployment, 1/3 of the youths are in a child marriage, and 66% youth are depending on the foreign employment. They are out of the country for the employment. So so furthermore, we are also planning for the post-COVID response in terms of employment generation, mobilization of youth through voluntarism, works for the community level, and encouraging through local level employment generation activities. So moreover, we will now plan to make the knowledge-based education system with increasing the investment so that youth could enjoy free quality public education. We will prioritize the youth from community, grassroots level, and empower, encourage, and motivate them towards the volunteerism works too. We will also make mapping of youths to require mentoring youth that require capacity enhancement for involvement, and also youth interested in the political agenda. And then we will make strategies and plan for the mobilization of these youths as to prosper development in case of Nepal from the community level. This is the remarks and comments from the side of the local government from Nepal, and at the end, again, thank you so much for giving me the wonderful opportunity to connecting to the very energetic and dynamic youth leaders around the Asia and the Pacific. And thank you so much. And back to the scenario.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much, Tamang. And we've noted the actions that you are planning together with the youth. And so I think NC Nepal and the youth organizations in Nepal will be very busy. So just to say that a few of the work that you're doing will be mapping of youth for mentoring and capacity building, and also mobilizing them for COVID-19 response, and very importantly, to engage the young people in curriculum development. So thank you so much for those remarks and responses. So now we go to, I give the floor to Rika Yoroz to give her remarks and response. Rika?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear, and I can hear and see you, Rika. Hello.
So first of International Day, as some of you commented in the chat box, is youth engagement for global action. So this webinar is very timely. And for me, this last 2 hours or so has been very, was in a telework mode for the last 5 months or so. So being able to hear the voices of young people and how the evidence and analysis of how marginalized young people is very precious to me as a personal, professional level, and for me to share with my colleagues here. Recommendations that were shared in the last sessions, strong takeaways for me. Their appreciation to ASPE and the member organization, important research together with the young people in the 9 countries. There are many things that I'm taking away from this seminar, but the 3 things that I'm taking back with me is the first, to have free higher education for women. I think this was from India, but I think this is also the same kind of a recommendation that would really come out from the other countries. And the violence is still a prevailing issue. And the second point is that the TV is the main source of information, which was not really something that I had thought of. But then the education through TV really needs to improve more for it to be a strong education. And the last thing that I would like to take away from this seminar is that local education and training, such as at the village level, such as the community learning centers, to provide access to remote learning. So these things are really important findings from the research for me. And then I really appreciate that this research is not about searching about what is the impact of the COVID-19 to the people, but it's really thinking that that could be taken at the local level. But what I'd like to share is that to recommend is to really try also to put efforts into sharing these the findings and the recommendations at the local level, at the national level, and even at the international level. And this, I think I've shared one link where we have UNESCO has set up a My COVID-19 Story campaign. So we really encourage you to upload your stories or the videos that were shown to this platform, to reach out to the national TV stations to the stories that you have collected, as well as I would say one thing you could do is to reach out to the youth ambassadors, the United Nations, WHO, UNESCO, and many other international agencies are opening up to work with the young people, and youth ambassadors have been appointed. So I really encourage you to write to them, social media, and to tell them what kind of a research that why are you have been doing and the findings you have found out. Also, I happen to be a member of an accelerated education working group, which is an interagency network promoting accelerated education program, which is, and also about, nowadays we're looking at how to support governments in the catch-up program. So for many people who had missed out on the education. So I would definitely share the presentations and the reports that will be coming out from this research, and to get back to you if there's any further possibilities to collaborate. So I'll just end my input here, but I really like to congratulate all the 9 country teams in carrying out this important research. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rika. And we have noted your recommendations on how we take this forward, and even, sharing this to the global level. So thank you. And please stay in the session because we will have our open forum after the 3 speakers. So thank you.
Okay.
So now let me give word to Chris, to Mr. Chris Henderson. The floor is yours. Give your remarks.
Okay, thank you so much, Thea, and thank you, Sunil, for opening our meeting today. And yeah, I mean, it is a wonderful opportunity to provide feedback on this vital youth action research, and to be able to also share with you some of UNICEF's important work to advance adolescent development in the South Asia region. And like my colleagues have said, most importantly, happy International Youth Day to each and every one of you. And like Rika said, after a lot of time teleworking, it's just amazing to be in a virtual room with so many young people again. So it's good to be among you. My first response after listening to your presentations is really how much this work exemplifies the aspirations of Article 12 of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, which sets out that all children and adolescents have a right to express their views and to have those views taken seriously. And I think in the context of COVID-19, what this work also shows is your capacity and your capability to collect, to collate, and to present really compelling evidence of young people's needs and recommendations for improved policy and programming. And in relation to UNICEF's efforts, I want to reinforce for each of you just how vital and important your voice and your action research is. We really do take it seriously. So as you may know already, one of UNICEF's main functions is to work in partnership with your governments to inform policy and practice relating to child and adolescent safety and wellbeing, relating to your health and education, and to your participation and engagement. And to do this effectively, we need quality data on children and adolescents' lives, on your challenges, your strengths, and your aspirations. And with this information in hand, through our advisory function and our advocacy efforts, we can then help governments invest in positive and sustainable ways to support children and adolescents in times of crisis like this. But to the extent that we work closely with research institutions, with civil society organisations, and with the private sector, often it's actually grassroots efforts such as yours that are the most insightful. And with the right communication strategies and forums like this, it's your research, it's your voice that's most influential too. So I congratulate you and endorse your efforts there. I think just to, one thing Thea asked me to speak on is how you and UNICEF can work together more closely. And first and foremost, I really encourage you to reach out to adolescent development and participation representatives in your country offices. And similar to Rika said, reaching out to youth ambassadors is a really strong way to engage better with the UN agencies as well. But really just to do this with a view of continuing your youth action research and being a key player in informing UNICEF's advisory and advocacy work. Another way you can be involved and really support the work of UN agencies like UNICEF and UNESCO is we regularly publish regional and global guidance on adolescent participation and engagement. And many of these resources can support your ongoing development, your research, and your advocacy skills. And I'll share these links for some really recent resources that I think are quite related to this presentation today. I'll share those links with Thea and Sunil to send out to you. But one particular resource I recommend is called Engaged and Heard. And it's a wonderful global resource on adolescent civic engagement, the type of work that all of you presenting today have exemplified. And another key document that relates to what many have presented on today, which comes out of our office in Kathmandu, is focused on distance learning to reach all children and youth during school closures. So that's a really great guidance document that looks particularly at low-tech and no-tech solutions for reaching vulnerable, marginalised young people during COVID-19. And I really want to emphasise that products like these are developed in collaboration with young people, with community leaders, and with a range of experts. And so as such, your engagement with these resources in their development and in their application is really what makes UNICEF's work most impactful. So you're the ones on the ground doing the powerful work in your communities, and some of the research and guidance we provide can help strengthen that work you're doing. I'll try and be brief with these last couple of points, but I do want to emphasise a couple of other areas of work that UNICEF is engaged with in South Asia in particular. And the challenge for us right now, I want to recognise, is looking at how the positive outcomes of these particular initiatives can be sustained through the COVID-19 pandemic and perhaps strengthened as a result as well. So we are doing a lot of work, particularly in the Skills for Girls initiative. And these projects address adolescent girls' underrepresentation, particularly in science and technology. And it provides girl-centered and girl-empowered programs on digital literacy, transferable 21st century skills, and social entrepreneurship. And I just want to point out a couple of quick examples of these. So in Nepal, there is the Upshift program, which strengthens skills for girls and links girls to services, which include job placement services with a focus on green, sustainable jobs, girl-centered support, and uniquely the profiling of women in different trades as role models for younger women, and also provides mentorship programs to support adolescent girls to develop their personal professional networks. In Bangladesh, there is also a Skills for Girls initiative called the Alternative Learning Program, which is an informal apprenticeship project which addresses the fact that, like our first presenter shared, 27% of adolescents in Bangladesh are not in education, employment, or training, and 85% of all adolescents entering the workforce do so through the informal sector, which comes with more risk and vulnerability. So through UNICEF-supported training and apprenticeships with trusted industry partners, both private and public sector, the outcomes are looking really promising. So far we're finding that young people participating in these apprenticeships, there's a 95% job placement rate for girls and boys. Participants have a 6-fold increase in income. They are 7.5 times more likely to increase their savings. There is a 9% increase in per day food expenditure, so they're able to eat better and be more nourished and healthier. This has a really positive impact on females, where we're seeing enhanced empowerment, self-confidence, and job satisfaction. And we're seeing a 62% reduction in child marriage among female learners. So I bring those projects up because it's acknowledging that before COVID-19, there were some really positive initiatives happening in the region, and particularly on adolescent girl education and well-being. And the challenge for all of us now is through forums like we've just experienced today, taking learning from your action research to find out how, given the lockdowns and given the uncertainty, we can continue to make these important changes for young people and to minimize the impact of COVID-19 on all of you. So once again, thank you so much. And once again, happy International Youth Day to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much. And the first thing that perhaps our youth organizations and ASBE members should do is to, as you said, to connect with country offices of UNICEF so that they will learn more about the programs that you have mentioned in this forum. So thank you, Chris. So now I would like to ask participants if you have questions and comments for the presentations of the three speakers that we have in this session. But let me just share with you my key takeaways from this session. So just keywords. So one is from Mr. Tamang, we said the young people should engage the government on the youth programs that are now being thought of and being put in place. And of course, we don't lose sight of our advocacy. So engage government, connect with country offices and partners, disseminate and advocate as advised by Rika, and of course, to build on the gains that we have from the youth research and promote sustained positive outcomes. So do you have any questions for our presenters, for our speakers? And let me just read while you are thinking of your comment or question. So let me just refer to the chat box. So from Enam of Bangladesh, thank you, Mr. Tamang, for a very presentation and good to learn about the youth development programs under your leadership. And then, of course, Nimesh is asking a question more related to ASBE on how to move forward our youth action. And then for Rika, thank you for but powerful messages and advice. And then thank you from Avinash. Thank you to all presenters. And from Robbie, maybe Robbie, you would like to take the floor to speak on your a message from the chat box. Robbie?
Hello.
Yes, Robbie,
Hi.
we can hear you. Yes.
Hi, Thea. Hi. I don't know if you can see me. Hi. I'm
Yes,
greetings
I can see
from
you.
Melbourne, Australia, the COVID capital of Australia, unfortunately. And so I just wanted to say congratulations to the youth presenters this afternoon or morning, wherever you are in the world. I think I should try to read what I said rather than chatter on. Yeah. Congratulations to all the youth presenters on your respective youth organizations for being able to conduct this valuable piece of research during this difficult time. However, I really think it's more than just research that you've done. It's been an opportunity for you all to stay engaged with each other as young people during this time, which has hopefully helped you all continue to stay healthy and to stay connected, which is so important. On behalf of the International Council of Adult Education, but also on the board of the Global Campaign for Education, we hope we can share your inspirational stories, which we are sure will have positive outcomes in the future. It might not come quickly, as this is a really long pandemic that we all have to deal with. But I think if we have the attitude and the commitment to stay connected with each other and be able to analyze the questions and the issues as you have very expertly connected, their education issues, the economic issues, the social challenges, the gender challenges with each other, I think we are looking forward to a promising future, maybe better than we adults have prepared for. However, what your work has shown today is this ability, therefore, to think, to connect, to learn differently. And so I finally congratulate ASBE, the staff and members. It's really nice, and I acknowledge what Peter said at the start. This was an idea we had when I was in ASBE before, and it's an idea that you have pursued with commitment, with fervor. And to do this at the time of the pandemic, I just am amazed, really, with what you're doing. And so keep strong, keep committed, and I again I acknowledge Rika's in the room, and Rika, thank you again for the support you gave us in the early times of ASBE doing this, but also to the work that Anita and Thea have put in from. We've just put in, and this might come as a surprise. We've drawn from the lessons of YAR, and we've been in discussion with some of the we don't have ASBE members in Lao, but some of the groups in Lao. And hopefully we might be able to find some funding and draw on your experiences if we are able to, but you continue to be inspirational. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Robbie, for that message. And so just give me 1 minute to read the message from Lalita Ramdas. So hello, Lalita. From a former ICAE president and ASBE member, this is just to congratulate you all on this energizing session. It's been exciting, full of ideas and possibilities. I'm already sharing this at our local level here in the villages and hope we can learn more from the methodology you adopted. Bravo. So thank you, Lalita, for that message, and also share the key questions that we ask the young people during this youth-led action research COVID-19 impact on young people. So let me end the session here. So thank you so much again, Mr. Tama and Grit. And that has been a good session. So over to you, Sunil, for that part of our agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We all are enjoying today's discussion and reflections. We are almost at the end. Is continuing to mainstream people from marginalized communities and also strengthen their decision-making processes. We'll be definitely documenting all the reports, discussions, and make it available for all the participants. In the research, we also documented a few stories from the ground. Our YAR partners from across 9 countries helped us with the fieldwork footage, and we compiled them for documenting. I request Lay to share a short movie which represents hope, struggle, and resilience of young people and their experiences from the ground. So let us watch together. Thank you, Lay.
Asia Pacific region has more than 750 million young people. Many of them are living in precarious conditions. Before pandemic, International Labour Organization reported that almost half of these young people are jobless. Current pandemic has aggravated the situation. Many young people from marginalized communities are facing severe challenges. They have lost their income and face difficulties in accessing social protection and relief assistance.
Yung pagkain sa araw-araw, lalo na hindi na yung sa lugar namin hindi na bibigyan ng relief goods, walang dumarating galing sa barangay.
Yung mga challenges na kinakaharap ko ngayong COVID-19, yung limited yung pagkilos namin sa community namin. May oras kami na sinusunod na dapat gantong oras ka lang lalabas. Kung kailan yung tamang oras ng paglabas. Tsaka yung kung paano kami makakasurvive sa araw-araw na kailangan nga namin magtiis na hindi lalabas kasi bibili ng pagkain.
Bukan lebih nggak bisa, tapi yang orang kapal itu nggak bisa masuk ke wilayah pelelangan ikan itu.
Bukannya sudah betul-betul sama sekali tidak ada mau alternatif lain juga sudah dipikir, tapi memang betul-betul karena dilarang orang di lapangan di luar. Энэ асуудал дээр төр засгаас шаардлагатай тусламж дэмжлэг үзүүлэхгүй байгаа нь харагдсан.
За үүний тод жишээ бол залуу хүмүүс ажлынхаа цомготголд орж за үүнээсээ болоод өрхийн сарын орлого нь байхгүй болж банк санхүүгийн байгууллагт гашаа байшин өөрийн эд хөрөнгөө барьцаасан байсан тэд нар бүгд алдаж өдөр хоногийнхоо хоолыг аргацааж байгаа энэ дүр зураг бол нүдний өмнө нэлээд харагдаж байна.
त्यांच्या शिक्षण, रोजगार आणि मानसिक आरोग्य या सगळ्यावर खूप परिणाम होतोय.
कमी लोकांनीच मिळून लग्न करायचं आणि कमी खर्चात लग्न करायचं. त्याच्यामुळे मग मुलींचे पालक पण लवकर म्हणजे खर्च कमी व्हावा याच्यासाठी मुलींचे पटापट लग्न करून देतात.
समुदायमा बढी नै बच्चाहरू स्कुल नगइसकेपछि उनीहरू सोसियल मिडियाको मार्फतबाट गर्ल्स र बोइज चाहिँ एकअर्कामा अट्र्याक्सन भइसकेपछि उनीहरू चाहिँ सानै उमेरमा विवाह गर्ने
তাদের মুখোমুখি হয়েছি, যেমন মানে অর্থনৈতিকভাবে কোনো একটা প্রবলেম হয়েছে, তারপর যেহেতু স্কুল কলেজ সবই বন্ধ, পড়াশোনাও অনেকটা ঘাটতি হয়ে গেছে। তাছাড়া আমাদের বিকাশের একটা প্রবলেম হয়েছে, কারণ যেহেতু আমরা বাইরে যেতে পারতেছি না, খেলাধুলা করতে পারতেছি না, ঘরের মধ্যে আবদ্ধ থাকতে হচ্ছে, সেক্ষেত্রে আমাদের অনেকটা প্রবলেম হচ্ছে।
Para hindi ako mapagod habang wala pang ginagawa wala pang pasok. Sumasama ako sa mga volunteers, lalo sa youth organization na para makatulong din sa iba. Nagre-repack ng mga relief goods galing sa NGO.
Kuha na po kami ng relief mula sa sponsor. Ayun, nagre-repack na po kami. Tapos tulong-tulong na po kami mag-distribute ng relief goods. Sa ganung paraan, nakakatanggap na po kami ng relief mula naman po yun sa
गोदावरी नगरपालिकाको चाहिँ हाम्रो एउटा नगरपालिकाबाट चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ यो कन्ट्री चाहिँ हामीले एउटा सेफ स्पेस हामीले बनाउन हामीले सफल भएका छौँ हैन। त्यो सेफ स्पेसमा चाहिँ बच्चाहरू चाहिँ आएर पढ्ने खेल्ने यस्तै महामारीकै बेलामा चाहिँ आएर पढुन् खेलुन् आफ्नो मनको भावनाहरू पोख्नु भनेर चाहिँ हामीले त्यस्तो सेफ स्पेस पनि क्रिएट गरेका छौँ।
Kailanganin namin ngayon siyempre yung mabilis na pag-aksyon ng government. Tapos yung pantay na pagtingin sa mamamayan, walang pinipili. Pagpapatakbo ng pera ng bayan, kailangan dapat record lahat walang may bubulsa.
Support from the government. Ang tingin ko po ang pinakakailangan po na suporta namin sa panahon ngayon is Yung sa bayarin sa tubig, sa sa ilaw.
Өмнө нь судалгаа хийж байгаагүй залуу судлаачийн хувьд бусадтай харилцах асуудал дээр нэлээд бэрхшээл гарсан. Судалгаа авах айл өрхтөөрөө очиход тэдгээр хүмүүс их тийм бие барьсан яг тийм өөрийнхөө дотоод сэтгэлийг нээж гаргахгүй байсан.
Яг зорилтод бүлгээ олох байсан. Яагаад вэ гэх юм бол бидний яг зорилтод бүлэг маань захын гэр хороодод захын дүүргүүд, захын бүсгүүдээр байсан.
Challenge na ginagawa ko para kayanin ang pandemic na to ay magdasal na sana makarecover na ang buong mundo sa pandemic na to para hindi na mahirapan ang mga tao sa kawalan ng
Thank you. That was possible because of dedication and hard work. The compilation was done by one of our partners from India, Abhivakti for Development, and they helped us to put this together. Now I request Ms. Maria Khan, who is General Secretary of ASBE, to share closing remarks for today's discussion. I request Maria to take the space. Is Maria in the meeting? Hello? Hello, Thea?
Yeah, she is earlier. Maybe her connection is not so stable. Okay, let me check. Maria, are you here? But I cannot see Maria.
She is not online.
Yeah, maybe her call dropped. So,
Hi, Maria is joining back. Hi, Maria.
I am sorry, Sunil, but Maria is not in the call.
I'm in the call now.
Okay.
My line just got cut, so sorry. Just as I think you were introducing the final, the end of the video. Can I still come in, or you've wrapped up? Sorry, colleagues.
No, you can still.
Please, Maria, you come.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yes,
Yes
we can.
po.
Okay, salamat. Thank you. I know colleagues were coming to the end of an extended hour of this very important event. So I'll try to be brief, as I was given the task of giving the closing remarks. I think it's extremely daunting to try and synthesize, as Sunil said, a very in-depth and rich set of inputs from our researchers from all over the world, our youth researchers from all over the world. So let me not attempt that also in the time that we had, but basically first to underscore that it is very heartening and inspiring to see the fruition of a vision that we had of hearing and giving, and the value of giving voice and agency to young people, especially from marginalized communities. The perspectives of young people, especially in times of crisis, even in normal periods, do not get much of a hearing. And a process of giving this space, a process of offering a venue for this articulation, we think is extremely important, as young people also take hold of their future and chart their own path, transcending the crisis and transcending the difficulties which have been imposed by this crisis. So it's reaffirming and reassuring and an appropriate moment for sure to celebrate International Day of Young People. So I think let me focus in my closing remarks on basically like the earlier speakers, picking up on the key messages that I heard, closing in on the theme of count me in. No, that's the theme of our dialogue today. I think what I've heard very significantly is I am a young person. When you count me in, please remember that being a student is not my only identity, especially if I come from a community which does not have young people who have the luxury of just being in school. I work, I am a parent, I am a mother, I'm a father, I am sometimes the primary caregiver in my home. So when you think about the education plans that will have to respond to this crisis, think of the many dimensions of my life that will have to be attended to and the learning needs that have to be responded to in this context. Thank you for the continuing learning programs that have been put in place to make sure that my formal education continues. But please be cautious that a lot of the online options that are being presented exclude me because I do not have the devices easily, that I do not have internet access, and that it should be important when you define your infrastructure plans or your continuity education plans that they should be included. There is a wider ambition, as far as I recall, when we participated in the discussions on SDG 4 that goes beyond the formal system. Please do not narrow down the ambition. We need opportunities lifelong, and please count that in when you develop education programs. A second message, counting me in, is please also count me in when you talk about social safety nets. I am out of job, I face food deprivation, I need stipends, I need cash, preferably I need cash in the hands of my mother or the women in the family who is primary in caregiving and in dealing with a health pandemic in most situations in our communities. So please count that in, count in the fact that years of neglect of the public health system and the public education system has given me very limited access for very limited access in terms of health facilities. So social safety nets that also address my health needs, please consider that too. Please count me in, my third message, when one thinks about safety. It's not only safety in terms of the health pandemic, in terms of the virus. Please protect me and count in my safety when you decide on ways by which you will limit movement, you will limit restrictions. I don't want to make trouble. We want to help in communities. We want to be active and in communities. Don't consider this as crimes. Don't consider me anti-national just because I want to be engaged, just because I want to be organizing among my peers, and just because I want to be socially active. And finally, count me in processes related to policies which define my life. Count me in when you talk about policy processes. I want to be involved, I want to participate, and I want to be part of institutionalized spaces when my voice could be heard. So colleagues, those were the comments counting me in within the theme of our dialogue that I pick up today, that I hope will resonate in the activities I'm sure that will carry on after this discussion. So we are coming hopefully to a final close of this rich exchange, and it's time to thank colleagues for those who have made this possible. First and foremost, of course, all the youth researchers, the youth leaders, the brave, creative, committed, and socially responsible activists among our ranks whose work and experiences were shared with us today. There were young people from rural districts. There were young people from indigenous and tribal communities, from the urban poor, from coastal and fishing areas, there are youth from with disabilities, from remote communities, from nomadic communities. Thank you and congratulations for all your wonderful work. It is indeed a fitting way to commemorate International Youth Day. We would like to thank and congratulate the member organizations of ASBE who anchor this process of youth leadership and engagement, the youth organizers and mentors in this work, particularly from Abhivyakti Media for Development in India, the National Campaign for Education in Nepal, Coalition for Education Development in Sri Lanka, CAMPE in Bangladesh, All for Education in Mongolia, COBLE in Vanuatu, unfortunately couldn't join us in this call because there were other demands engaging with the Ministry of Education, Civil Society Network for Education Reforms, or ENET Philippines, Civil Society Education Partnership Timor-Leste, and the National Education Watch and ASPUC in Indonesia. Thank you very much, colleagues, for the wonderful presentations and the very able facilitation of our youth mentors and our youth leaders. Thank you for our partners who graced the occasion today. Mr. Bamsalal Tamang, Chris from UNICEF. Rika, I made you last if you're still on the call. Not to embarrass you with far more praise that you have heard from the previous speakers, colleagues. Our youth work rested on the tenacity, the vision, and the hard work of Rika. We wouldn't have been where we were in 2011-13 that was mentioned by Thea, and certainly not in this position today, if not for the shared vision that UIL in the person of Rika had in the importance of giving voice and agency to marginalized young people in articulating their education needs and their demands. Thank you very much to Abhivyakti Media for Development for their assistance in the video. Thank you very much for the Executive Council members of ASBE, Nani, our President, Peter, who always inspires us with his own work among youth in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and inspires our work as well in our youth engagement strategy. And finally, the ASBE staff who have been the bedrock of all these efforts, Sunil, our youth coordinator, Thea and Anita, and of course, Lei, who has been assisting us in many initiatives, but especially in this initiative as well. Thank you very much, and thank you very much to all who participated. It's been a long event, but I hope it's been worth your while, and it is proving to be inspiring to your work too. So thank you, and congratulations to everyone. Over to you, Sunil.
Thank you, Maria, for that inspirational speech. Thank you also for decoding the multi-layers of marginalization and understanding on what level we are asking our voices to be counted. Thank you so much. Before we say goodbye, asking all of us to please open our cameras for a final group before we say alvida and bye-bye. Please open your cameras for a group photo. My colleague Lay will to get our smiling pictures. Thank you. Lay, please suggest when you are done.
How about Yan?
Are we done, Lay?
कैसे ले रहे हैं
Hello po.
Yes, Lay.